Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Dr. Benitez will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your right hands over your heart. Ready, begin.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. We welcome those who are here for purposes of addressing the board at the proper time and in the order of their request. For those who have not already submitted a request, we have provided forms in the back of the room and also have additional copies here in the front at the Assistant Secretary's position. If you wish to speak during the meeting, please fill out a form indicating your name and the agenda item you wish to address. You may also make a request to give testimony on an item not listed for discussion today. However, a full discussion on any items not listed on the agenda will have to be delayed until such a time as the item can be publicly posted in advance as a regular agenda item. If you wish to ask questions, please address them to the chair and not to individual members of the board or to the staff. The board has been meeting in closed session regarding matters listed on today's closed session agenda and wishes to report that no reportable actions were taken. Public hearing, there is none. Call for agenda items for separate action. Adoption of the agenda is posted.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The motion is approved unanimously. Approval of minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. The motion is approved unanimously. We are now at communications. National Board Certified Teachers. Call up Jennifer Crockett.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Steinhauser, and executive staff. National Board Certification is one of the most respected professional certificates available in education and provides numerous benefits to teachers, students, and schools. The National Board Certification process is designed to develop, retain, and recognize accomplished teachers in schools nationwide. Standards for each content area and developmental level are created by teachers for teachers. They represent a consensus among educators about what accomplished and effective teachers should know and be able to do to improve student learning and achievement. Board certification is available in 25 certificate areas from pre-K through 12th grade. The Long Beach Unified School District provides financial incentives to the 173 board-certified teachers in the district, up to 10% of the teacher's base salary. In support of the certification process, the district also pays the application fees and provides professional development and support to candidates. The 31 National Board teachers we are acknowledging today are responsible for providing numerous hours outside of their duty day to again benefit the teachers and students of Long Beach Unified. The 31 teachers are providing close to 145 hours of guidance to student teachers and district teachers. They are giving back and providing over 160 hours to pre-candidates, candidates, and renewal candidates in the National Board program. They are providing close to 240 hours of professional learning and curriculum development to their sites and to the district. And this one I'm most proud of because this, again, is only 31 teachers. They are providing over 1,040 hours of student support aimed at closing the achievement gap. I asked these National Board teachers how they felt about earning or renewing their certificate, and they responded by saying, "I feel that it recognizes all of the work that I do for our students. I'm now better equipped to support a diverse population of learners and mentor teachers new to the profession. It strengthens my identity as a professional educator and validates my efforts as a teacher. This certificate is a direct reflection of my teaching and my hard work with students. This process has made me a better teacher and advocate for my students. I'm proud to renew my National Board Certificate because it provides me with the opportunities to challenge myself. Renewing demonstrates my continuing dedication to the education profession and helps ensure students are getting the best education possible. and this one is for all of you. I am thankful that Long Beach Unified encourages and supports teachers throughout the certification process. Without that support, I would not have been able to complete the process. In honor of earning this achievement, I would like to start off by recognizing the brand new National Board Certified teachers this year by reading their names and having them join me at the podium if they are in attendance with us tonight. Nushi Barron, Jennifer Barragan, Verona Byrne, Shadi Gavimi, Stacy Hess Peterson, Lee Huseman, Josiah Jones, Vanessa Kenley, Jennifer Nolan, Richard Ross, Adara Ryan, Leslie Theobald, Bryant Ton, and Ann Yoon. Let's give them a large round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, guys. The National Board renewal process is not simply a recertification process. The National Board Certified teachers must compile and submit a profile of professional growth demonstrating how their practices continue to align with the 5 core propositions in their certificate area. In contrast to initial certification, the profile of professional growth is a single submission composed of 3 interrelated components and a reflection. These components draw upon a single group of professional growth experiences. In honor of earning this achievement, I would like to recognize the National Board renewal teachers for this year, again by reading their name and having them join me at the podium if they are in attendance with us tonight. Lindsay Bobo, Alicia Caramona, Jessica Cohen, Yolanda Darrington, Anthony Dow, Stephanie Ewig Warner, Lisa Hickman, Dallas Law, Jamie Nichols, Maya Oliver, Danielle Sawyer, Laura Strand, Miki Smith, Alan Vandevort, Henry Waddles, Jillian Waldenfels, and Jason Wilson. Let's also give them a round of applause. Thank you so much to the board, Mr. Steinhauser, and the executive staff for allowing us to take some of your time to celebrate these wonderful teachers tonight.
To all of our teachers that have been recognized tonight, what a great honor it is to have you all come and what, in particular, the time that you go through to become nationally recognized, but also the impact that it has to Long Beach Unified School District. We are also very proud of you. And all of you may want to go out and celebrate now, or you may want to stay with us for the rest of the day. So thank you all very much, and again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Okay, we will now move right into the report by the Citizens Oversight Committee, Measure E and Measure K, Walter Larkins.
Okay. Good evening, Board. Appreciate it. And Chris Steinhauser and staff and all the people here in attendance. I'm going to read this so I don't miss anything important. The Citizens Oversight Committee is proud to present this, our 11th annual report to the community detailing a record-setting year for Long Beach Unified School District. During fiscal year 2018 and 19, more construction and modernization projects were in progress or completed than in any other single year in the history of the district. There were 78 projects in planning, in construction, or completed in this 12-month period, including building new classroom facilities, heating and air conditioning systems, and athletic field improvements. As we continue to address unmet needs, every school in the district has benefited in one way or another from the school bond, whether it's additional security fencing, new clocks and alarms, or campus-wide Wi-Fi. All 72,000 USD students and all 85 campuses enjoy an improved learning environment thanks to measures K and E. The facility teams deserves credit for the hard work and long hours that have made this progress possible. We, as members of the Citizens Oversight Committee, get a front row seat and view as we tour projects coming to fruition. We also regularly review and monitor expenditures for these projects, which require meticulous record keeping and continuous budget balancing. In December of 2019, the district independent audit of Clifton Larson & Allen, LLP, presented the completed annual performance and financial audit of Measure E and K bond program, which had no findings for financial accountability and performance. That is why we are so impressed that for the 7th year straight, an outside audit firm, after thoroughly investigating the bond program and records, was given the district the highest rating. To the best of our knowledge, the district is in compliance with Article 13A, Section 1B3 of the California Constitution in regards to the appropriate use and spending of bond proceeds. It has been an honor and privilege for me to witness firsthand the significant progress we are making forward towards transforming our schools to the 21st century learning environments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you very much. Our student rep is here, Anais Gomez from CAMS. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. We are now at staff report. There is none. Big friend?
Sorry, we're number 19, public testimony and items
I'm
listed
sorry.
on the agenda.
My apologies. Public testimony and items listed on the agenda. I do not have any request. Staff report, none. Public testimony and items not listed. I do have some requests. Calling on Robert Collins.
Give me a second to put on my glasses. Good evening. I know that many parents come to complain, and tonight I'm going to complain. But first, I'd like to thank the board for everything you do for kids. I understand that the board deals with policy, but tonight I'd like you to get down in the weeds with me. Because my 12-year-old son has experienced bullying and sexual harassment in LBUSD. Last year, a student told kids not to be his friend because he has gay parents. This year at Tincture, he has heard about 15 homophobic and racial slurs. Thank you, board members. My husband and I worked hard with the principal to change this, and teachers were supportive.
Sir, could you just go back and repeat what you just read?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you mind if, should I just start again?
Go ahead.
Yeah, can we do that?
Can I get the time back?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, guys. I just saw people talking, so it threw me off.
Yeah, we missed some of what you said too, so that's why we're asking.
Oh,
you to-
and is this okay right here?
Perfect.
You can hear me?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'd like you to get down in the weeds with me because my 12-year-old son has experienced bullying and sexual harassment in LBUSD. Last year, a student told kids not to be his friend because he has gay parents. This year at Tincture, he has heard about 15 homophobic and racial slurs. My husband and I worked hard with the principal to change this, and teachers were supportive. A few months ago, a small group of boys approached my son at school and asked if he was gay, and then I asked him the size of his P-word vagina. Through the chair, I'd like to ask board members if any of you have been asked the size of your P-word vagina at lunch. My son does not identify as gay, but the school and district office took this seriously and it was handled appropriately. Recently, my son and his friend were targeted with direct messages from an Instagram account using a Rogers Middle School name and the Rogers logo with student pictures posted on this account. People were asked to comment on student relationships. The direct messages referenced oral sex and sexual orientation. I gave the Rogers principal pictures of 4 students that were posted. He conducted an investigation, but stated he could only identify 1 student at Rogers. This did not make sense to me. I followed up with DO, but again they stressed that he could only identify 1 student at Rogers. My son texted a friend, and she gave him the names of all the students in the pictures. And reportedly, they all go to Rogers. His friend also gave him the name of the person who owned the account and a witness. I emailed Rogers' principal all this information on Tuesday, 2/11, thinking the problem might be solved and a conversation could be had with the person who sent the vulgar, homophobic, bullying text messages. I thought the principal would respond with something like, "Thanks for this information. We will investigate," with maybe a, "Oops, I messed up. The 4 students do go to Rogers." On Thursday, 2/13, he wrote, "At this point, I do not have any new information." I had given him new information on 2/11, 2 days earlier. In his response, he didn't mention that I emailed him that my son's friend identified all 4 students in the pictures, the owner of the account, and a witness. I was confused. I asked him to call me, but he never did. District office is now taking over the investigation. Maybe it's time to analyze how we deal with the sexual harassment of our students.
Thank you. Before I introduce the next speaker, I understand we have some members of the Citizens Oversight Committee here. Are they all gone? Okay. Lan Nguyen? Lan Nguyen?
No, I think we have one more member of the Oversight Committee that's here in attendance.
Well, let's get this straight away. Do we have a member of the Oversight Committee here? Please stand. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Just say your name.
I'm Karshay Chess, and
All right.
I'm represent the parent and PTA on the Citizen Oversight Committee.
Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
much.
thank you.
All right. Lan Nguyen.
Hello, my name is Lan Nguyen, and I am an alum of Long Beach Polytechnic High School. I also teach ethnic studies at Long Beach Polytechnic High School. And I am here to speak with you today about the students' allegation of racism and abuse at Long Beach Poly. In a little bit, I'm going to deliver you a petition of over 137 alumni who condemn this behavior. Since the printing of this petition, we have received additional signatures. We're at 150 right now. We're contacting you today regarding the behavior of Libby Huff, a professor at Poly who has caused immense harm to our students. Collectively, we are parents, teachers, doctors, lawyers, and community members who care and give back to the Poly community. We send our kids to Poly. We still wear green and gold swag. You can find us at football games chanting, "Once a jackrabbit, always a jackrabbit." And we support the current students at Poly and do not stand for racism and physical abuse towards students. After reading the testimonies of multiple students against Libby Huff, we are calling on you to terminate Ms. Huff's employment at Poly High School and to contact the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing with recommendations to revoke Ms. Huff's teaching credential so that no more students will suffer abuse from Ms. Huff. It is disgraceful that a school that receives national recognition for our sports, academics, and ethnic diversity would fail to protect its students from racism and physical abuse. Multiple students have testified that Ms. Huff called a student the N-word, and many students have reported Ms. Huff physically touching and hurting students. As a teacher myself at Long Beach Poly, I know that when students need to be disciplined, there's no need to call them the N-word, no need to call them names, no need to physically touch them. Long Beach Poly High School is 89% students of color. As people of color, students already face racism, discrimination, and violence due to their appearance outside of school. POC students must live in fear of being profiled by law enforcement, being targeted for hate crimes, and being barred from opportunities due to stereotypes. They should not have to carry that fear in the classroom. Studies have shown that students in classrooms where teachers carry racial bias have more trouble achieving academic success. If a teacher calls a student the N-word, do you think she has racial bias? Do you think her students will succeed in class? There's no surprise here. If students do not have teachers who respect them, view them as intelligent, and challenge them, then how will they have the tools they need to succeed? As alumni in support of students in Ms. Huff's classroom, we demand the following: terminate Ms. Huff's employment at Long Beach Poly, contact the California on teacher credentialing with details about the students' testimonies, hire more teachers of color, and lastly, from this petition, we have gathered that there are other teachers at Poly who have similar experiences and allegations. We recommend that you mandate professional development trainings on racial bias and working in diverse classrooms throughout the district. And lastly, and most importantly, we ask that you believe these students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. You can give those to the secretary right there. Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. Thank you. Nerick Hernandez.
Good afternoon, President and board members. My name is Nerick Hernandez Herrera, and I'm a junior and the Student Council Vice President of Sato Academy of Math and Science. And it is my pleasure to formally invite you to our annual Elementary Engineering Day that will be taking place next Friday on February 28th. On that day, students from Sato Academy from all grades will go to 21 elementary schools throughout the district and will give an introduction to engineering through several fun and interactive activities. Thank you, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you very much.
One more time.
February 28th. This should be next Friday. And then if there's any more questions or if you guys are interested, I suggest you talk to the elementary schools personally.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bear with me on this name, Thanzadar Easley.
Hi, it's Tandazar. So my name is Tandazar, and I am a former policy student. And my career has taken me, I've worked in accounting, I've done a lot of proposal writing, I've worked for the city of Long Beach, I've worked for a couple cities. I stepped into cybersecurity, and this whole journey of my career changing, the experience that I had working in the business world, but also being around a lot of artists, I see the connection being there, where there's a lot of power, where I can bring a lot of attention to places that need that attention. So I'm really here to offer. I would like to leave my information, but I'm here to offer because what I have experienced is groups of people building lists of professionals that they can connect their people to. I think that is so important because there's always gaps. You know, I wanted to be mad at the system for not taking care of all of us. But I realized that I have to step up. We have to step up and really say, what can I do? You know, there's a lot of people who are stepping up now, and I would love to offer the resources that they have to be able to connect these communities throughout the U.S., throughout the world, really, and be able to build the resources that we are going to need to make it into the next couple of decades or however long. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Celine Malinum? Or Celine? Thank you. Celine?
Want to go with Pearlie?
Hello, President and Board. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Celine Milana. I am a poly grad, class of 99. I am a wife of a teacher, a public school teacher. He was a LACO Teacher of the Year a few years ago with over 20 years of teaching. And I'm also a very proud product of my entire school career was in Long Beach Unified. Longfellow, Hughes, and Poly. And I am the very proud parent of a Long Beach Unified School District student right now. And in a few years, I'm going to give you guys another one. And in a few years, there's another one. So I'm committed. What I'm saying is I'm vested in this community. I love Long Beach Unified. I've gotten excellent education, and I love Long Beach. I am the co-founder of a nonprofit organization, or rather a community organization in Long Beach called Long Beach Breastfeeds. And I'm vested, okay? This is my city, and these are my schools. So everyone knows this with Long Beach and with Long Beach Unified, our strength is our diversity. We should have an absolute zero tolerance policy, zero tolerance. I don't care how many good things a teacher does. They call somebody an N-word, they put a hand on a student, zero tolerance. It negates everything good that person has done. I'm talking as a parent, I'm talking as a former student, and I'm talking as the wife of a teacher. If we aren't actively fighting racism, then we are supporting it. And that is a hard truth that people need to swallow. If you are not actively fighting racism every opportunity that you see it, then you are a supporter. White supremacism doesn't have to look like white hoods. It can look like erasure from textbooks, and it can look like a physically abusive teacher who uses racial slurs, who remains unpunished, protected by a union, and remains in the classroom. Our kids are victims. I read comments left on the article about this Poly situation on a Long Beach Post Facebook page. The comments were appalling, saying these kids probably deserved it. And have you seen what Poly is like and all of these things? That is ridiculous. Do you know what it takes to organize? It's over 25 kids, 23 kids. There's high school kids, and they organized, they collected, and they felt so strongly about it that they did something. Okay, you can't barely get kids out of bed sometimes. So for them to do this, what do they have to gain? They don't have any money to gain, they have nothing to gain. So you need to believe them. We need to believe them as a community. As a woman of color who is the mother of children of color, I would hope that if my kids were ever so passionate about an injustice that they organized like these kids did, that their community would step up and listen, support, and at minimum, believe them. Huff needs to go, and you guys need to please support these kids and see what's happened at Poly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kristen Costley? Kristen?
Hello. Hi, I'm here to speak on the same issue of Ms. Huff. My name is Kristen Costley. I was in Ms. Huff's class in 2009 and 2011. While I never witnessed any physical abuse in her class, it was still very apparent to me that Libby Huff was unfit to teach. She ran the classroom however she felt, with no rubrics or rhyme or reason to the assignments or grades she would give. I was very vocal about my issue with this, which is what landed me a D- for most of my junior year with her. I would take pictures of her biased gradings. Classmates would miss the same question on a multiple choice quiz, but one would receive an A and the other a B. This was an ongoing theme in her class and left me feeling quite defeated, as in all my other classes I was earning an A, and in Huff's I would never get above a D+. Despite doing multiple extra credit assignments, they were always marked as zeros. If a student would score well on a midterm or a final, she would mark it as excused so it wouldn't help their grade, even though they studied hard to earn that grade. I was lucky and privileged enough to have parents who cared and were able to take off work to meet with her. My mother scheduled a meeting towards the end of the year to find out why I was failing this class. When she arrived to the meeting, however, my grade had miraculously turned to a B+ within 12 hours, wasting her time. Apart from her grading, she was always a bully. One of my classmates had missed 2 even days in a row, and she took this opportunity to comment on her weight, saying she had probably skipped class so she wouldn't have to go to PE. She said this in front of the whole class. Throughout the year, she ridiculed students who planned to go to City College, saying anyone who chooses to go to City College is a loser, slacker, and a dropout. We were required to take SATs for a grade that at the time cost $70. I didn't need to take it since I was going to LBCC. I asked if there was something else I could do instead, and she refused, so I received a 0 out of 500 for that assignment. It worked out though, because I went to LBCC through the Promise Pathways program, transferred to Cal State Long Beach, and got my bachelor's degree in studio art. One day in class, with no apparent lesson plan, she passed out assignments she had given to her freshmen and wanted us to grade it. I thought they'd be worksheets or quizzes, but they were journal entries. I found myself reading about a freshman who was struggling with depression. Ms. Huff hadn't even bothered to redact the students' names. They were simply at the top of the page. I felt awful and didn't read anymore. This seemed like such a terrible breach of trust. I couldn't believe she would do something so cruel. Another day, the fire alarm went off. As the class stood up, she yelled at us to sit back down, saying that we were staying inside to catch up on work. I and another student began to argue with her, saying that at this point we didn't even know if this was just a drill or a real emergency. She said if we walked out, we would receive a 0 for the day. We walked out. She followed quickly behind us, knowing that if she got caught doing what she was doing, she would be in more trouble than we were. These are the stories that I remember from my time with Ms. Huff, a time that was nearly 9 years ago. I wrote formal letters, as did my parents. Nothing ever came of it. Today's students are being called liars. I did not make this up. They did not make this up. Please believe them and do the right thing and get rid of Huff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are now at business items, personnel. Mr. Meyer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. I present the following proposed actions prepared by the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resource Services, approved and recommended by the superintendent. Appointments 56, leaves of absence 9, resignations 10, retirements 2. Certificated personnel appointments 21, in-service changes 1, leaves of absence 12, resignations 1, retirements 3, rescissions 1, and I move approval.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. Instruction.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, a couple of the items that we have before us are, one is in relation to federal programs that we receive funding for. I think many times it's difficult to account for what the role of our federal funding is in funding our public education. So I'd love to ask Pamela Secchi to come up and talk a little bit about the areas, the categories, Title 1 through 5, that we receive based on who our students are and based on our needs.
Thank you. The item that's on the instruction report tonight is our winter data collection. We submit numbers of participating students as well as the funding allocations to the California Department of Education. The CDE is our intermediary for the funding programs that we have from the federal government. These are supplemental programs for increasing student achievement for targeted student populations, supplemental in that they are above and beyond in order to address the needs of these targeted student populations. We participate in Title I, which is improving basic programs. This is meeting the needs of low-income students. We have approximately 45 schools that are Title I schools. That is the schools that meet a threshold of 75% free and reduced lunch. Title II is supporting effective instruction. This is improving student achievement through strategies of additional professional development for our teachers and our administrators. Title III is English Learner Student Program. This is additional supplemental funds for programs above and beyond the core program for our English learners. There is a Title III Immigrant Students Program. This year we are reporting numbers of immigrant students, but we have not seen enough growth to qualify for that funding. And finally, Title IV, which is student support and academic enrichment, that addresses additional programs for what we call well-rounded education. That could be music, supplemental art programs, supporting safe and healthy students, which would be nutrition, mental health issues, as well as effective use of technology.
Thank you, Pamela. And I just want to highlight, particularly for our community members and parents, that oftentimes the complexities of our budgets as school districts are difficult at best, and many times just very, very hard to understand. So I think it's important for us to get the national context of what some of our federal funding provides to our students and the implications that it has, particularly for some of our most vulnerable students. So thank you for that, Pamela.
Can I ask one question? I know, Mr. Superintendent, back in the day when I used to come to meetings and we'd look at budgets, that Title I line item used to be significantly higher, correct? If I'm not mistaken, it was closer to 45 million at one point?
Correct.
And so this is a decrease not on anything that we have done differently, but that more students across the nation qualify for Title I funding, and the amount of money that the federal government allocates for Title I has not changed.
It's gone up a little bit, but there's the biggest factor is that more students in the nation qualify,
So it
more.
spreads it out.
Correct.
So that's a huge decrease from when we were talking about Title I funding even 5 or 6 years ago.
We used to at one time, and for many, many years, fund schools that had 40% poverty, because they're allowed to do so by law, but because of the resources and the reduction, we had to go to 75%.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion is approved unanimously. Finance Report A.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. Finance Report B.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I recuse myself from participation in Finance Report B on the consent calendar. I have a potential financial interest under Government Code 1091 and 87100. My husband works for a subcontractor who has done work for the payees.
All in favor?
Aye.
The report is approved 4-0 in favor with 1 recusal. Business Department Report.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. Purchasing and Contract Report.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. Superintendent items.
Yes, Mr. President and members of the board, staff is recommending expulsion for student 158. This student would be expelled under Education Codes 4815C4 and 48900.2 and would not be allowed for readmission until after the January 27, 2021. However, Student Placement Services has made the recommendation that this student be expelled with a consideration for suspended expulsion with an opportunity to attend our GOC class.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. There is no unfinished business. We are now at new business. Adoption of initial bargaining proposals from the California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 2, Units A and B, to the Long Beach Unified School District.
This is just information, so there's no vote.
Adoption of initial bargaining proposals for the California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 2, Units A and B, from the Long Beach Unified School District. Another information item. Resolution 022020-A, non-reelection of temporary certificated employees.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, could we get just a little explainer? I know this is we do it every year, and every year it might be confusing to some folks, so. if we
Sure.
could-
Mr. Zaid, would you like to come up, please? Thank you.
So resolution number 022020A speaks to temporary certificated employees who we often refer to as having a special contract. A special contract is a contract for 1 year. A part of the resolution speaks to employees that we have who are temporary because they are providing leave replacements for teachers who are often on leave. It also incorporates employees who are paid through categorical funds, and so we use special contracts. And an example of that is our Head Start program, and so each year, because they are on a special contract, we have to have this resolution to release them of their contract and then to bring them back for the subsequent year. So this is a standard resolution that we utilize each year.
Yes. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion is approved unanimously. I'd like to call on David Miranda for the next item, award of leaseback contract for the Gompers K-8 school HVAC project.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Steinhauser, executive staff, and our audience here this evening. Really, we're excited and on behalf of facilities to present this contract to move forward with the Gompers HVAC project. 3 years ago, Assembly Bill 2316 was signed into law, which really amended Education Code Section 17400 and 17406, which specifically pertain to the way we solicit and award leaseback construction contracts. The district then adopted a board resolution to comply with said provisions, right, in terms of awarding such contracts going forward. The district then issued a request for proposals from interested contractors and leaseback firms to be able to propose on certain projects going forward. 9 firms were initially selected to this pool of pre-qualified leaseback contractors. Later, a 10th firm was added to that pool. So then we moved forward into the following year, right? So in the spring of last year, spring 2019, our department issued a request for proposals from interested firms on that pool of pre-qualified contractors. 5 of those firms submitted proposals. We evaluated them based on the criteria that this new Assembly bill called for. So that criteria included factors such as proximity of the firm, strength of the specific project team that was put forward, ability of the firm to contract locally, and cost, of course, was another factor. So we evaluated the firms based on every one of those criteria measures. Really what we're here to do this evening, and in accordance with the Assembly Bill and Education Code as amended, is recommend 2H Construction as a leaseback contracting firm for the Gompers K-8 HVAC project. The total contract all-in guaranteed project cost would be $17,620,005.
Thank you. David, stay there. I'll give you the next one as well,
Perfect.
since we vote on this one.
Move approval? Oh.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion is approved unanimously. Resolution 02220-B, in support of Proposition 13, the Public Preschool, K-12, and College Health and Safety State Bond Act of 2020. David, a little context.
Sure. So this resolution would establish Long Beach's support for this state endeavor. This is really the first of its kind in terms of a bond resolution, a state facilities bond that would include preschool, K-12, community college district, the UC system, and the Cal State system, right? So it's a $15 billion bond endeavor. $9 billion would be set aside for pre-K through 12th grade, really. $2 billion would be for community colleges, $2 billion for the UC system, $2 billion for the Cal State system. Really quite a bit of good information and eligible projects that are built in within the framework of Proposition 13. The proposition initially started as AB 48, which was authored by Patrick O'Donnell of Long Beach, who we're grateful is very supportive of education and state facility issues as well. Certain projects that are included on this list as eligible projects would be modernization, new construction, improvements to spaces like cafeteria spaces, spaces for career tech and college and career readiness, just a host of different improvements that would really benefit Long Beach and Long Beach students.
You want to call first?
Need a motion.
Discussion?
Need a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, and this might be a question for Brent. So I've seen different districts and organizations endorse propositions like this, Brent, and I want to caveat it by saying I'm in full support as an individual board member for Prop 13. Are we as a district or as a board legally allowed to endorse, or is this resolution different than that?
Absolutely. The board as a whole, the board proper, always has the ability to endorse legislation.
Okay.
What you can't do is you can't then use district resources to urge the support or defeat of a resolution. But absolutely, make your voices heard.
Okay.
And let everybody know how you feel about this resolution.
All right, let's start then. So yes, fully supportive of this. I think it provides an opportunity also on projects that otherwise would not be able to be funded. It's not just at one school at any given time. It benefits all students. And I think given that we have some financial challenges in securing funding using other avenues, that this is very strongly something that would improve the lives of all students in Long Beach, better our communities in Long Beach, and in the long run fits within the vision and mission of our district. So fully supportive of this resolution.
And I'll just add to that, that this also helps our local bond dollars go further, because it provides matching funds for projects that fit into the projects outlined in the state measure. I will say that there is a ton of misinformation going on about this right now due to the very unfortunate nature of the recycling of our proposition numbers. We know historically that Proposition 13, back in 1977, I believe, 78, has a huge impact on property taxes. This is not that. It has zero to do with that previous Prop 13. So I just want to be on the record as clear. This is a general obligation bond that is sold to fund school construction, facilities, and modernization. That is what it does. It doesn't change anything else. But what it allows for is the state to sell bond dollars under very strict guidelines, just like we do, that have to be used for the purposes outlined in the proposition. It has zero to do with any of those other things that are floating around in meme form on most social media platforms. So I just want to point out, this will help with clean drinking water. A really important piece of this that people forget is it's going to provide disaster assistance for students and teachers. So we have thousands and tens of thousands of students across the state who have been impacted by wildfires and other natural disasters. This is one mechanism that they can begin to rebuild their schools. Some districts were completely wiped out. So when we look at this, I am in strong support of this and really hopeful that we will continue to talk about what this is and very specifically what it is not, and that it matters to Long Beach because of that COC report that we had at the beginning of our meeting. You look at the projects that we're doing. This will help us do even more with those dollars. So that's my soapbox.
I would add one more thing, Board Member Kerr, that it is not a new tax.
It is not.
On Californians.
It does not reverse your, yes.
David, should this proposition pass, what would be could you tell us what our share might be?
So as of today, right, and it's a moving target based on state eligibility requirements and as buildings age and whatnot, but as of today, we would be eligible for upwards of $340 million in potential state matching funds for our projects.
Thank you very much. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. David, thank you very much. Okay, information item, selection of new superintendent of schools. Ruth, anything report, updates?
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. There's no significant update. We're still in phase 2 of the public outreach process, and perhaps a few of you will give an update during your board report because we've been conducting our community forums.
Thank you, Ruth.
Mr. President, if I may, Monday night, the 24th, will be our first town hall meeting to discuss the process of the new superintendent. Is that correct?
That's the first one at Wilson and the only
Right.
one at Wilson. This will be our fourth.
Fourth, very good. Thank you.
If I may add, Board Member Meyer, we also have one on Tuesday, March the 3rd at Renaissance High School, Thursday, March the 5th at Prisk Elementary School Auditorium, and then 9 a.m. Saturday, March the 14th at Cabrillo.
And if I might add, no, I'm just kidding. We will now go to report of board members. We're starting with our student board member, Ms. Gomez.
Good evening, Board of Education, staff, families, and friends in the Long Beach Unified School District. I'm Anais Gomez, a senior and current ASB president of the California Academy of Mathematics and Science. I'm very humbled and honored to be here once again. Last time I was here, I talked about some of our achievements at CAMS, and today I'd like to talk about how the school has changed my life. Growing up, I wanted to be many things. I wanted to be a scientist, an architect, a carpenter, and you might be thinking, wow, a math and science school. I'm exactly where I should be. But in all honesty, I didn't know what I wanted to be at all. Being at a school with so many opportunities made me realize that I could be anything I wanted to be, and that kind of scared me. I was scared of many things, actually. Scared of talking to people, scared of bringing attention to myself. And here I am. But the school has allowed me to speak my mind, do what I love, figure out what I love, and most importantly, open up a whole other realm of opportunities for myself. How did this happen exactly? Well, my freshman year, I ended up joining Class Board, which is a group of people who are in charge of organizing and fundraising for our prom, grad night, and other senior activities, while also in charge of uniting our class. I fell in love with planning and advertising and fundraising, but also the fact that I was able to help a lot of people and help create such a close bond between our classmates. I ended up staying after school a lot, staying up very late at night, trying to think of different ways to do things, and I loved it very much. I realized that I could do so much more than what the job entailed. I delved into advertising and tried to push the boundaries of what a simple fundraiser should be, from selling donuts on a stick to clouds on a stick, and filming and creating videos and flyers, designing apparel, which helped raise a lot of money, to the point where we're a couple thousand shy of $20,000 this year. And I just love being able to make a difference. Again, I wasn't the most outspoken person. It terrified me a lot, but I gathered the confidence somehow. And being at the school has allowed the most quiet person ever to do things like this and make a difference. I climbed the ladder of positions in Class Board, and I wanted to share that love I had for my class with the school. And now I am the ASB president, and I am so very grateful because I would not have this opportunity at any other school. I've learned so many soft skills, such as communication, how to work with others, but also many hard skills, such as organization, how to plan events, how to raise money, how to advertise, and more. And during this time, I was able to apply these skills to the outside world, where I was given the opportunity to intern at the Marathon Refinery in Carson, where I was able to design and produce graphics and videos during the summer for the internship program. And none of this would have been possible without the skills I gained at CAMS from ASB and Class Board. And now I'm hoping to become a teacher, a graphic designer, combining my love for designing, advertising, and helping people and making a difference. And again, this wouldn't be possible without CAMS, and I just wanted to thank CAMS for this opportunity, and thank you, Board of Education, for allowing me to be here today. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you for that very thoughtful and expressive presentation.
Thank you.
Are you a senior
Yes.
this year? Okay. We do have some questions that we're interested in learning about. Have you made plans to attend any particular institution, higher ed?
Not at the moment,
Not
but
at the moment?
I've gotten into 3 schools so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Still waiting on some?
Still waiting on some.
all right.
A couple.
We're fairly confident that you won't have a problem in that regard.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here you want to say hello to?
My mom's here, my sister's here, my friend's here. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you again for that
Thank you.
wonderful presentation. Let's start on this end. Diana?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see, since we've last met, there was the Toyota Youth Concerts at the Long Beach Symphony. I believe it was 12,000 of our 4th and 5th graders attend over a 2-day period, and they enjoyed music selections like Handel's Alleluia and composition from Harry Potter, Double Trouble. Also featured was a ballet dancer from CAMS. I have her name here, Julia Lee. I don't know if you know your classmate, but she danced on stage with the Long Beach Symphony. And then we also had our high school honor choir, and they did a song in Latin, they did a song in Italian. They were fabulous. So that was very fun. The theme of the concert was Courage in Concert. And then I wanted to mention quickly that I participated in a meal packing event with the Assistance League. It started with a tour of the new facilities. This is a place on Spring Street. The Assistance League, Operation School Bell, they provide more than 10,000 uniforms for our students, and now they are providing meals. And so we had about 5 different teams maybe. Mr. Meyer was there also, and our superintendent was there. And I know more staff members, Mr. Moskowitz. I know I'm forgetting people, but we had about 5. It got competitive. I don't know if
5,000 meals.
it was, we packed 5,000 meals. What it was is a bag, and it's kind of like a soup with all the components in it in powder form. And Ms. Perez, we were on the same team. I should remember that. And I think we won. Honestly, I think we won. It was so much fun. I'm putting it out there to the Assistance League. You have to invite us back. We had such a great time. And it was over so quickly. Ooh, and I think I heard that somebody was very messy with rice. That's neither here nor there. I also had the honor to attend the California School Recognition Program Awards ceremony at the Disneyland Hotel. And that included congratulatory remarks from our State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mr. Tony Thurman. So congratulations to Alvarado, Lafayette, and Twain for their work in narrowing the achievement gap and overall improving academic performance, and being honored with 2020 with California Distinguished, being a California Distinguished School. So congratulations to those 3 schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Mr. Meyer.
Thank you very much. I had the pleasure of attending a PTA breakfast with Diana Craighead and Megan, and thanks to our PTA throughout Long Beach. They do such great work. I want to especially acknowledge to Leslie Darling and Linda Haynes, who were dynamite PTA folks when I was principal at Lakewood back in 1998, and they're still going strong. So thank you very much to those 2 ladies. The Wilson Orchestra is trying to generate funds to finance the fact that they've been invited to Carnegie Hall again. $2,000 per student is what it's going to cost. So if you would like to make a donation tax-free to the Wilson High Orchestra, you may do so by addressing it to the music program at Wilson High School. They would deeply appreciate that. I had the pleasure of dropping by Beach High School on Tuesday, and I want to compliment Troy Bennett, the great job that he does. I'm going to shed a little secret about Troy. I hope he doesn't mind, but he said, you know, Mr. Meyer, I feel a sense of anxiety every time I come to work. I just want to do such a good job. And I told Troy, I said, Troy, you're doing a great job. And the persona that you exude before your students, I mean, you just don't know the tremendous impact you have on them. So keep up the good work. Thanks, Troy. Let's see here. I guess that's about it. Thanks, Dr. Williams.
Dr. Benitez.
Yes, I have 3 items to report on. The first is one that I've mentioned during my board report at previous meetings. We have a U.S. Census that's our constitutional duty to do every 10 years. This year's census date is April 1st, and it has serious policy and funding implications in the areas of health, education, the economy, health, and the environment, among many others. But in particular for our educational endeavor as a nation. And it behooves us to have an accurate and complete count. So what does that mean? That means every single person that's physically in the United States on April 1st should and must get counted. And so our district is taking a very active role in partnership with the City of Long Beach, with Cal State Long Beach, with Long Beach City College, to assure that we have an accurate and complete count, particularly for what are called hard-to-count populations, which includes students, which includes children 0 to 5, which includes households where English is not the first language spoken, which includes our senior communities, which includes our LGBTQ community members, which includes our immigrant communities, which includes renters, low-income communities. It was mentioned earlier that at 45 of our schools, 75% of the students at least are on free and reduced lunch. So it has serious implications for the communities that we serve, for our students and their families. And the only way to secure funding and to impact policies that impact our everyday lives is to assure an accurate and complete count. So I want to continue to encourage everyone. This is the first time in the census history that it can be completed online. Beginning March 12th, it's 9 questions. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Everyone should be able to answer the questions. It'll be in 12 languages online. In addition, there is support for 55 additional languages so that we make sure and we complete that census. And we'll have different kiosks across our city where folks, if they don't have access to a computer or the internet, can walk right up and fill out and complete the census online. So that's my first item. My second item is, and several of us have shared this, my appreciation for everyone that comes in during public comment. We listen, we're very serious listeners, and we take your comments into account in our decision makings. So whether it be today's comments or any other comments that are made, when there are serious issues that require investigations, we also are very serious and thorough in those investigations. So I just want to thank the members of our community that come during public comment and reassure you that we do listen and that it informs our recommendations and decisions on our end. And kind of in line with the previous 2 items, we have elections coming up next month that impact, again, the everyday lives of everyone. So I'm not going to tell you how to vote or who to vote for, but encourage you to vote. Right? I want to thank 2 members of our board here for their many years of service. We will have 2 seats up primary, March 3rd, our Super Tuesday, right? But this, again, along with the search for a superintendent, is part of our civic responsibility. We can criticize, we can complain, and we listen to those criticisms and to those complaints, but one way to actively impact our decision-making processes is by participating. And if you're under 18 or you are ineligible to vote, you can still participate. You can still volunteer. You can still educate. You can still motivate. You can still encourage others that are eligible to vote to participate in our democracy with a big D there. So I just want to remind everyone that we are 1 week away from March, 2 Tuesdays away from elections, and you heard about one of the propositions that our board is supporting. We encourage everyone to fully activate our civic rights and our civic duties and participate in our democracy.
Thank you, thank you. Ms. Kerr.
Yes, thank you. On the note of the census, I know, Dr. Baker, you've been leading up some of that work. Perhaps in a upcoming meeting during next meeting during the staff report, we'll hear a little bit more about opportunities and the ways that the district is partnering with all of those community agencies very specifically, and how you might be able to be a part of helping us count better. So thank you. It's great to know. I want to brag on my North Long Beach community a bit. So we had our forum to talk about qualities we're looking for in the next superintendent, and we had it at Jordan High School in the community room on Tuesday night. And we had a great turnout and a really robust conversation. We actually used, for those of you who have been or watched, we used our entire 90 minutes right up to the end of really thoughtful and engaged discussion about who we are, who we want to be, who we've been, how we can be better, and what we're excited about, and really how we belong to each other and are in relationship, and that's how we move forward. So I want to thank our students. We had some little ones there. We had families. We had teachers. We had staff members. We had community members who live in the area. I want to thank them for coming out and sharing in that really thoughtful and engaging conversation. So we're throwing the gauntlet for the rest of you who have forums coming up, and hopefully you will have equally engaging information days with your community. And also, if you haven't been and you live in the north, you can still go to the other ones as well. And I want to echo Dr. Benitez's comments and express my gratitude for those who come to not only speak to us here, but who text message, who email, who are deeply concerned or excited about who we are and what's going on. And when you share that with us, it helps us do our job better. It helps us work as a team in this room to serve students well. So I will echo that we hear you, and I'm grateful that you continue to reach out to us and trust us with information. So thank you for all of that. And then I will end with an apology to Lindbergh. So at least once a year, it's usually only once, I usually have one big calendar fail. And this was it. They had their pasta dinner last Thursday night, and I had it on my calendar for last Wednesday night. And unfortunately, I could not go because I was at an event at Cal State Long Beach with Dr. Connolly and Mayor Garcia. So Lindbergh, I'm coming at you with cookies or cupcakes or something, but I did see the social media of your wonderful community engagement night with your families and your pasta dinner. So thank you for that great work.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan. First and foremost, I want to just congratulate my fellow board member, John Meyer, who received the Impact Award awarded by the city prosecutor, Doug Halbert. And that award was all about what they attribute to the reduction in student crime in the city by the work of this board. And so that award really states a lot of significance for how the city prosecutor views our work as a school district in reducing crime in the city. So congratulations, John.
Well, let me interrupt and say that you also received that Impact Award. And I really rode in on your coattails, Dr. Williams. You do such good work, so thank you.
Thank you, John. I want to also comment on the Toyota Symphony because the conductor of the symphony was very personable in coming out to meet with us and chat with us about the music that was being performed, how the kids would interact with that music, and what it meant for the kids to be there. He was very personable and spending a lot of time with us, just walking us through what would occur in terms of the music, and it was an outstanding performance. And our kids did very well. And also, I believe our school choir participated in that symphony as well. And they did a fantastic job. I have a letter here that I received from Jen Webb in reference to one of our teachers. Jen represents the Southern California School Band and Orchestra Association, SCSBOA, and she writes, Dear Dr. Williams, on behalf of the Southern California School Band and Orchestra Association, I want to congratulate Naomi Norwick and your school district on the recognition she received Saturday, January 18, 2020. I did confirm with Chris before I read this letter that she was in fact one of our teachers. What school is she at, Chris? I'm sorry. Okay, you don't, I won't hold you for that one.
She's
Where?
Retired, but she was
At Hughes, okay.
For 20-some years, mostly at Hughes.
She does some subbing.
And she subbed for Mr. Osmond. That's right.
She received the prestigious Outstanding Veteran Music Educator Award. Her nomination states, Naomi Norwick has had a distinguished career as a middle school band and orchestra teacher. She's dedicated to music education and the SCSBOA. Naomi served on the SCBOA board as Vice President of String Education, VP of Middle School Honor Groups, and VP of Elementary and Middle Schools. Naomi hosted solo and ensemble festivals and presented at multiple conferences. Additionally, she managed the SCSBOA Junior, High School, Middle School Honor Orchestras, and served as an auditioner and section coach. In 2013, Naomi was honored to conduct the SCSBOA Honor Orchestra. SCSBOA is the largest professional organization serving music teachers in 11 southern counties of California. It serves over 1,000 schools in the Southern California region, affecting over 100,000 students in instrumental music with over 1,250 members. So it's congratulations to Ms. Norwick for this outstanding honor. And let's see, that is it. So Superintendent.
Yes. Before you leave, we want to take your picture with the board, so just, and Dr. Camarino will be doing that. So And I just have two items. One, I'm going to remind everybody that this Saturday is the last kindergarten festival at Bircham. We've had great attendance, and so we want to remind our families, rain or shine, it's supposed to rain Saturday, so rain or shine, it will continue to go on. So it's a wonderful opportunity for all of our families to go to. So, and as many of you know, we've had some of our parents come to talk about a situation in Building 2 at Fremont and some concerns regarding some mold spores, And so what we've done, and we've had several meetings at the school, later tonight, I will be sending a letter to the staff at Fremont and to the families at Fremont that beginning on March 2nd, the 4th and 5th graders who are in, which are 5 classrooms, who are in building, what we call Building 2, will be spending the rest of their academic year at Lowell and Rogers. We're doing this out of an abundance of caution because of lingering concerns that individuals have. Our commissioned licensed environmental specialists have deemed that the school and the building are safe, but because of these concerns, we want to start the remediation, which was going to take place later in June with part of the Measure E project, sooner. So there will be a meeting for parents next Monday at 6:30 in the auditorium. We will be providing bus transportation for our students and a lot of support for our teachers and staff to make a smooth transition. So keep them in your thoughts as they find out this information tonight and tomorrow, because this is happening rather quickly. So.
Thank you, Chris. We are now at announcements.
Yes, Dr. Williams, le voy a hablar en español un ratito a la comunidad que habla en español. Maybe we can take a clip of this, Ruth, for our superintendent's forums, because I really appreciated the calls in Spanish announcing the selection process. Así es que le voy a recordar a la comunidad que habla en español que tenemos foros muy importantes para selección de lo que va a ser el siguiente superintendente de nuestro distrito escolar. Es una oportunidad de tomar sus opiniones, sus perspectivas sobre qué cualidades, qué características queremos en el nuevo superintendente. Entonces les quiero recordar que toda esta información está accesible por medio del sitio del web del distrito, pero voy a dar las fechas, las di en inglés, las voy a dar en español. Las que siguen son este lunes, el 24 de febrero a las 6:30 en el auditorio de la Escuela Wilson. El 3 de marzo, que es marzo, a las 6:30 de la tarde en la Escuela Renaissance. El 5 de marzo, que es un jueves, a partir de las 6 de la tarde en la Escuela Prisk, la Escuela Primaria Prisk, en el auditorio también. Y el último foro es a las 9 de la mañana el sábado en la escuela, en el auditorio de Cabrillo. Si no pueden, por cualquier razón, asistir a nuestros foros, también los televisamos por medio del internet, en vivo. Así es que también de esa manera, y por supuesto, si tienen una opinión, una perspectiva que quieren contestar o que quieren que se considere en la selección del superintendente, nos pueden mandar también sus opiniones, sus perspectivas, sus sugerencias. Así es que con toda confianza, esta es la oportunidad de participar para la selección del nuevo superintendente. Gracias.
I was just going to remind folks about the Kinderfest at Bircham as well, but also Polly has their musical happening this weekend. So I think opening night might be tonight, and then Friday, and 2 on Saturday. So head on out to Polly to see Hairspray.
Also tonight is the student art show at the JCC. The awards ceremony starts at 6:30, but the student art will still be on display for 1 more week. And that's always fabulous. So if you have a chance, go see the student art at the JCC.
Also tomorrow, the African American Cultural Center will be hosting a presentation at the Educare facility to provide a overview of what this program is all about. We're basically having folks there who can help provide support for infrastructure and other forms of support. Dr. Conley, Dr. Reagan Romali, Steve Goodling, our superintendent, Chris Steinhauser. We've invited Mayor Garcia and other city officials. That will be at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and if there are staff from the district who would like to attend, then we welcome you. But again, this is to provide an overview of what this project entails, and for these folks, as we're looking at these folks as honorary board members who can provide resource support for this project. Again, it's at 9 a.m. at the EduCare facility at Barden Elementary School. That is it. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned. Student board member?